The Black Panther Party is one of the most misunderstood movements in American history. To some, they were a threat. To others, they were a symbol of empowerment and community survival. But the truth is far more complex and way more important than either extremes. In this video, I explore two questions. What caused the fall of the Black Panther Party? And what would a modern Panther-inspired movement need to do to be effective in the 21st century? Using research from history, sociology, political science, and government documents, and media analysis, I argue that the Panthers fell because of a combination of state repression, internal conflict, and strategic limitations. But their legacy also offers up a blueprint for modern organizing today. The Black Panther Party was founded in 1966 in Oakland by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. According to Crash Course, it explains that the Panthers emerged during a time of intense frustration with police brutality and racial inequality. The Black Panthers saw a moment, and a need for help within their communities, and they stepped up to do it. According to historians Joshua Bloom and Waldo Martin, the Panthers were unique because they combined armed defense, community survival programs, and revolutionary political education. Their programs, from the free breakfast health clinics, were not just charity, but they were a direct challenge to the state's failure to support black communities. During these times, it was a little known secret that the state fully wanted black people to just get rid of themselves, destroy themselves. They were just there to keep us in line so we didn't destroy anything else, but they wanted us to destroy ourselves within our own communities. One of the most significant causes of the Black Panthers' decline was state repression, especially through the FBI's COINTELPRO program. The National Archives COINTELPRO files show that the FBI explicitly targeted the Panthers with surveillance, infiltration, and disinformation. One memo states that the goal was to neutralize black nationalist organizations. These are tactics used against terrorist organizations or criminal organizations. The Black Panthers were nothing but a community organizing group. But this goes to show the effectiveness and the fear that big government and white supremacy had over actual political and social and community-based organizing within our communities. Historian Donna Murch argues that the Panthers became a threat not because of violence, but because their community programs were gaining real influence. She writes that the state viewed their survival programs as a direct challenge to legitimacy of local government. Local government believed that their job was to protect these people or feed these people or do all these things. But in actual reality, they couldn't care less about these people. But the Panthers came in and fixed that. But that can't be seen because that can't be the narrative that they push. They have to push the narrative that the black people want to destroy themselves, that we are no better than dogs on the street or we're no better than the animals in the jungle. That we aren't smart enough or capable enough to defend, feed, and protect ourselves. And that if given a chance, we just destroy everything. But what the Panthers were doing does not fit that narrative at all. So it led to raids, arrests, and the assassination of leaders like Fred Hampton. But the government repression wasn't the only factor. Internal conflict also led to a major role in the Panthers' fall. The Black Panthers were fractured because ideological differences seeped into their movement. Some members wanted to be more militaristic, more going against the government, almost like domestic terrorism a little bit, but not too far into that realm. And the others, they just wanted to keep it as community organizing and as community uplifting. Historian Curtis Austin explains that the ideological divisions, especially between Huey Newton and Eldridge Cleaver, created deep fractures. Newton favored community projects and community programs and local organizing, while Cleaver pushed for armed struggles and international lines. Cleaver wanted to take the Black Panthers global. Like speaking in the rallies and speaking like Newton speaking at rallies and Cleaver in Algeria and other countries that were dealing with oppressive governments, things like that. But I think the biggest problem was him trying to go global also allowed the United States to push the narrative that these were nothing but a bunch of communist, black nationalist terrorists who wanted to take over the country. Bloom and Martin also note that these disagreements weren't just personal. They reflected a larger tension inside the movement. Should the Panthers focus on community survival or revolutionary confrontation? Again, in my personal opinion, I believe both of these things could have been enacted and done by the party. They just needed to actually sit down and talk to each other and actually listen to each other. These divisions weakened the organization's unity at the exact moment when outside pressure was exercised. When they were fighting, it's like when two people are fighting on top of a weak beam and a third person comes, that beam immediately falls. Because the beam was able to handle those two people fighting. But the moment the third individual being the U.S. government, and its ramped up push for misinformation and violence and spies and informants within the party happened just as the party was also imploding within itself because of itself. The party wasn't destroyed by the government. It was destroyed by the government and itself. Another factor in the Panthers' decline was how the media portrayed them. A PBS NewsHour segment explains that the Panthers were often depicted as violent extremists, even though most of their work involved community service. The whole violent extremist thing, that was rare. Really rare. And a lot of those people weren't even members of the party. They would claim they were and make moves in the name of the party or in the name of black folks and make the party look bad. I think a lot of that stuff was actually the government doing it, trying to create a want for the Black Panther parties to go. And it worked. It worked. A lot of black folks in black communities didn't want the Panthers around because they felt like the Panthers made things worse. They believed government propaganda. They believed whatever. They believed that the Panthers were going to make things harder for black folks and not easier, especially a lot of older black folks who were around during the civil rights movement. This framing shaped public opinion and made it easier for the government to justify repression. The gap between what the Panthers actually did and how they were portrayed remains to be one of the biggest misunderstandings of their legacy. When you talk to people now about the Black Panthers, you get a mix of things, but you rarely get the truth. That's because people don't really know. Even black folks don't really know what the Black Panthers did because of government misinformation and government disinformation, not just misinformation. They purposely put out completely wrong stuff so people would go against them and go against their message and go against the message they were pushing. And when the Black Panthers were trying to go for minority solidarity, they would push the message that they were just black supremacists and that they would eventually try to step over other minorities and try to rule them, not realizing that's only a thing in white supremacy. In my opinion, what a modern movement needs today will be first, it needs decentralized leadership. Internal conflict hurt the Panthers. It hurt them so bad. We do not need to put a whole bunch of people in power. It should be council-based, and leadership should just be a face and a face only, a face and a voice, if that. But leadership should definitely be council-based, whatever, and an uneven member of council. So 7 members, 5 members, 3 members, 9 members. But there should always be a way that answers and things get resolved. Second, it would need to be a digital organization. Today's movements rely on social media, encrypted information, and rapid information sharing, tools the Panthers never had. So social media, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all these things. Create a whole new social media. Something that's off the government's radar on 4chan or the black web or things like that. Third, it would need coalition building. The Panthers were strongest when they built alliances, like the Rainbow Coalition across racial and class lines. I'm so on this because, to keep it all the way 100, other minorities have also have fallen victim to white supremacy. But I do think a modern organization will need to reach out to these communities, because there are people doing good work in those communities. But just be wary, because a lot of those people believe that their closeness to white supremacy will save them. Fourth, it would need mutual aid programs. Just like the Panthers, survival programs, as Merchant Bloom and Martin showed, these programs build trust and power at the community level. The Panthers have to be heroes in the community. No more of this domestic terrorism stuff, because it's too easy for government to flip that and turn you into just a straight up terrorist. And that's something black folks do not like. That's something minorities do not like. We might not like this country that much, but we doggone sure do not like terrorism. Finally, it would need political education, something the Panthers excelled at. Understanding history, policy, and strategy is essential, because in America, past is the future. Whatever they've done before, they will do again. And whatever they're doing now, they will try it again. So books, workshops, community classes, meeting in, but also keeping this stuff off general basis, like making sure the people that need to know about this stuff need to know. Make sure it's more word of mouth. The Black Panther Party fell because of a combination of state repression, internal conflict, and strategic challenges, but their legacy offers a powerful lessons today. A modern movement inspired by the Panthers can succeed if it learns from the past, adapts to the present, and builds for the future.